Yeah, you got whenever your dad go when he started back up. When he doing his podcasts, is he starting back up or he waiting football season?
All right, yeah. I'll text him up.
Yeah, that's it. Catch him. They gave the Bills a tough ass schedule again. They always get a tough schedule every year. And then they'll get teams like Denver easy schedule and get to the Super Bowl.
You seen that new building and stuff?
So I'm coming to Buffalo next month in August for a preseason game. We're going to watch the Carolina game.
Oh, okay.
I'll be in Buffalo that time, tour the stadium in the summer.
All right, you ready?
We live yet?
We live right now. We got 2 people in here right now.
Okay, let's get it.
What's going? What is going on, everybody? We are back like we never left. I apologize for the wait. There's been, some a little bit of confusion lately for a lot of people who are viewing this live stream. I want you guys to let you know that I wasn't able to keep up with the podcast recently because it takes a lot of effort and a lot of money to keep it going. But now that I'm working now, I am able to keep up with the streaming and everything else. And I'm going to start, buying, other things, buying a better mic, buying a better, stuff that can fit well with the podcast itself. But I'm letting you guys know we are back, and we're going to be talking about the NBA Finals right now. Okay, so just kind of stay tuned with that. We got our stats going on. We're gonna jump right into Game 1 and then Game 2. And then Game 3 will be the last one we talk about. But I'm guys letting you guys know right now we are back. And then let's get into it, man. We ain't doing introductions. We're gonna get right into it, man, because we got a lot to talk about. And then the off season, there will be lots to discuss. I'm sure my co-host Ray, he got a lot to say during the off season. I know CP, my other co-host, he got lots to talk about. So do I. But we here. So how you feeling, man? What's going on?
Man, shit, glad to be back in the game. We ain't been on in a minute.
We back, y'all. We back.
You know what I'm saying? We got to see what's going down. But, people got life to live. So here we are. But we made time to get back to it. I know the fans need to hear our input.
Yep.
Basketball truth and knowledge. Let's get it.
Yep. Definitely, man.
Hopefully CP will get on here later. But, we're going to make it happen no matter what.
Don't worry. We're going to make it work. But
yes,
I appreciate you guys for the wait. Like I said, I apologize, for not letting you guys know in advance that there's been a long wait. There have been some other things that came up in the long run, but at the end of the day, we're here to show and give our input on how we feel about the finals that's going on right now between the Knicks and the Spurs.
Oh my God, that's a hell of a series going on right now.
Yep, one hell of a series. So let's go ahead and turn the music off.
Listen, I don't understand how. Well, let me just start off with this. Let's give the Knicks their flowers because hell of a run. They having a legendary run right now, parallel to none in the NBA right now, winning what was that, 12 straight? How many games did they won straight? 10, 12 straight games?
I would say 12 straight runs because
they haven't lost since the Atlanta game series.
So the Atlanta game series, they've been winning nonstop. Yeah, I would say because they beat Atlanta, which should have been a swept right now. But it's Atlanta. They can't full of surprises. They swept the Cavs, right? They swept Cavs.
What, unbelievable! You swept the Cavs? Come on, bro.
Well, let's talk about the Cavs right now. Let's get into that. Let's get into that game series real quick. Let's discuss how Harden's impact on the Cavs when when they faced the Knicks. I want you to go first. I want you to give how you felt that game series could have went if James Harden became the 2019 James Harden. Like
But
what
you know
impact
what, you said a mouthful right there because again, you trade for Harden to add another piece to what they already have, and that's supposed to get you over. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
no shade on anyone, but the Cavs just got a player who within Harden who's dynamic, but he has a hard time closing the game. He's not a closer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so here we are. They had opportunity in every one of those games to try to win. And of course they plan to win, but they had opportunity where, somebody had to step up and close the show. Like the old famous Magic Johnson, he would say it's showtime, and he would say, it's a lot of stars in the league, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to the money, a superstar and a megastar close the show. And so with that being said, Harden has yet to be able to get his career, in my opinion, to that superstar status. He's definitely a star. He gonna probably get in the Hall of Fame because of his numbers, arguably, and all that. So we definitely know he's a scorer.
Accolades and everything,
but he can't close the show. He's been on several different teams where he's had opportunities with the supporting cast to get to the finals, and he just can't get it. So that's my take on that. And here we are. They thought Cleveland was one piece away, and now here we are. They got the piece that they thought, but because of who he is, and unfortunate or fortunate, he just can't help a team to close the show like he thought he would. And that goes all the way back to when he was with OKC Thunder, 6th man of the year.
Right.
And here we are. You know what I mean? And every one of his players been to a finals. I don't even think he's been to a finals yet.
No.
We know KD won one. And we know Russ, I think Russ won one. Here we are. So I don't have much to say about that series, but again, the Knicks did a great job going in on momentum and putting in work. And the crazy shit is here we are moving to the finals, playing San Antonio, which is the best player on the planet, the alien, my guy. I've been promoting Wemby since 2 years ago.
Since he first came.
You know that when I went and seen him in Cleveland. And, right now he's definitely trying to make him the face of the NBA. And now you look at the Knicks slid in and they're up 2-0 on the road. On the road, bro. Like, how does that happen on the road? Usually a team is happy to get a split. So I figured it was going to be a split, but man, listen.
Right.
Wemby can't knock down the game-winning shot, Here we are.
About that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That wasn't to tie, that was to win.
That was yeah. I think that series, let alone not the series, but I think that shot and that performance that Wemby put on towards the end, that was up to you, bro. You had what was that, Lino? We got somebody in the comments. Millet 7086. What's going on? Welcome to the live. Welcome.
Oh yeah, welcome. We got some folks in the building. All right, that's what's up.
Welcome to the Bad Truth Knowledge family. If you are in here, you are trapped. You can't go nowhere. You are part of the family. Make sure you subscribe. Put on post notifications. That like button.
Right.
Definitely questions. Put them in the comments, and we will answer your questions. Simple as that.
Tell them we answered all questions today. We're gonna see what they talking about.
We give you nothing but the truth because it's the best knowledge.
Yes, sir. So, Aaron, what do you think? What do you think it is? Because at the end of the day, when this is the final, so it ain't no about what the team gonna do and not do. You have the best of this season playing right now, and at the end of the day, the game is based on runs. And San Antonio made a hell of a run, down 14, I believe it was. If you check the stats, down 14, get back in the game, and you figure the game on the line with one shot left, who takes the shot? And of course, you get it to the best player on the team in his hand, and he couldn't close the show. So that could hurt them because now you go down 0-2 and you're going into New York, which is going to be a hostile environment. which is ridiculous. Madison Square Garden gonna be off the chain, and now you're down 2-0. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard to come back from 2-0, bro. It's been done before, but at the end of the day, the way the Knicks been playing them, physical style of ball, it reminds me of the old school Knicks when they had Patrick Ewing and different people, Mason, Starks, back in the day. And they were known as a physical team. You wasn't gonna come up into New York and wasn't no just run and gun. You're gonna play a physical game. And usually, if you look at those kind of games, they're allocated by low scoring games. I mean, when I say low scoring games, you might crack 100, 90 to 110, somewhere around there. If you stay around that range, 100 point range, it's favored for the Knicks because at the end of the day, that's a low scoring game,
Right.
relatively to today's NBA. So, that's the difference there. And again, 105, 104 victory for the Knicks in San Antonio is huge. But that style of game favors the Knicks. Physical, slow it down. If the game get into like 115 area or more, then I would say that's definitely favorable to the Spurs because they're running and gunning. But if anything, where the points come down and it turns to defense, Cat doing a great job on Wemby. He putting them down. He putting the body on them. You know what I mean? They picking up Wemby from the gate, full court, putting the body on the full court so he can't just run around, freely because he's already the biggest player, and it helps to wear him down some. So as you saw, he had a mid-range shot to win the game, and he missed it. Any other time, 99% of the time, he makes that shot.
Exactly.
So, what do you think on that? What's your take on it?
I think my take on that what you just talked about on who should be taking the last shot, and I believe it would have to be Wemby because he's arguably the best player on that team, and really like they had to try to build around him because he's mind you, he's 7'4", he's like you said, he's an alien and he can do pretty much anything on that court. He can bring up the ball, he can score, he can score however he want. But if you're given this opportunity to seal the deal and you have the ball in your hand, you have to make you have to make a right choice on how you're going to score that ball. You chucking up a ball at the 3-point line and then missing it, and then you give up a turnover at the very last minute of the game.
Yeah, turnover huge.
And then you get pickpocketed by Josh Hart, and then you just like I feel like they rushed it. I feel like they rushed it because they wanted to win, but you can't rush an opportunity to make it a 1-1 chance in the finals. See, the way how I watched the Knicks ran, they were up 14 in the half, and then I'm gonna give the Spurs flowers for overcoming that 14 down lead, and they came up and they tied the game.
Right.
The way how they progressed themselves throughout that run, throughout a 14-0 run, was phenomenal. And then they let their guards down on the offensive side and the defensive side. Because how are you allowing Jalen Brunson to grab a board over you, Josh Hart grab a board over you, Shaman to grab a board over you, and you got and then Cat to grab a board. Mind you, they had Cat on the floor with Mitchell Robinson grabbing boards over Wemby a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Wemby has grabbed boards too, but he not grabbing as many boards as Cat and OG Anunoby,
right.
Cat, Michael, and Josh Hart. So when you look at that, when you look at the numbers as far as and I have it right here. So if you go by defensive rebounds, and game one, like San Antonio had 4 defensive rebounds, Knicks had 39, and they were neck to neck as far as boards. And if you go for fast break in game one, San Antonio had 15 points off the fast break. And then if you go for their field goal percentages, Knicks had a 41.5%, while Spurs had 36%.
Yeah, which is the bad shooting day. You got to have 40% or better, at least to even compete in there. What was the bench scoring?
The bench scoring. Hold on.
Yeah, the bench is going to play pivotal because I don't know how deep the Knicks are, but
the Knicks have a really good.
anybody scoring to me a big difference in this series is going to be what you can get off the bench. That's going to be important because I think if the Spurs get a big push off the bench, they blow them out. I just don't know what was the off scoring, off the bench was.
I feel like the only person who really had the most scores off the bench, I would say Dylan Harper, your boy Dylan Harper from the draft. The rookie Dylan Harper, he shot. He had 16 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. He shot 60% from the field. He was 1 for 4 from the 3. Shot 25% from the 3-point line. Free throws made. He was 3 for 3. 8 defensive rebounds, 1 turnover, and he only played 27 minutes.
He a rookie.
A rookie, let's put this to the side. You got a rookie who's making who shot 16, who made 16 points in game 1. Imagine, and this is game 1 that we're talking about, and he's already doing good as a rookie in the finals.
Yeah, that means he need more minutes. Definitely should get some minutes.
Right, and then if you go to Fox, he only has 7 points. So really,
they need some scoring, bro. You can't. See, the name of the game is you got to get bench scoring, and that helps. And at the end, and then trickle on to a different topic, other than the bench.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the last game when Wemby had that turnover, and this is championship minutes now, and this is where Wemby will have to get more mature. Because at the end of the day, the ball was in his hand. Wemby could bring the ball up the court, and he tried to initiate the fast break. And so at the end of the day, it's tough because San Antonio players is like, okay, it's time to close the show. Our best guy got the ball. And so all of them looking to get in position. And Wemby has to embrace the moment because that turnover was all on him. Everybody like, oh, he got the ball. Let him bring it up. It's showtime. Let's see what he gonna do, to get us to there. Let's go get in position. And so that one player, he was really just getting up the court to try to get in position because the ball was in our player's best hand. San Antonio Wemby had the ball. And he's brung the ball up before. This ain't like, oh, go get the ball and bring the ball up and set the offense. Wemby has been bringing the ball up on multiple occasions. And so to piggyback to what I'm saying is, at this point in the game and at this magnitude of the series, we're in the championship round. This is it. Game on the line. Ball is in your hand. Wemby has to get more mature. In that case, you keep the ball. It would have been like anybody – Jordan, Magic, you name some of the dogs. They wouldn't have gave that ball up. Why would you get that ball up there? Push the ball up.
Yep.
Who's better than you?
Yep. If you look at because right now I'm looking at the recap of games 2, and I already read you off of the bench's points in game 1, and then in game 2, Dylan Harper had 1 less point. He had 15. 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal.
Consistent as fuck. He gave us what we needed.
Yeah, exactly. And then Wemby
the point is that what I'm saying about the whole thing is when you get down under 2 minutes in a game, 3 minutes in a game, this is where superstars take over the game. And so now you got Wemby getting a rebound. Everybody else is already getting up the court. And to close the show, he has to learn to seize the moment and say, hey, this is where it ain't so much being selfish, but you take control of the game.
Right. He needs to wake up.
Control. Because had he went down and not gave that turnover, that could have been a bucket. And then at the end of the day, when he got an opportunity yet again, ball in your hand, you missed the shot. So with all that being said, the team did everything they can do to put San Antonio in a position to win. And that's where Wemby has to get more mature in his development and his career, because in that moment, he shouldn't be giving up the ball until he's making a play going downhill to the basket. You know, when he trying to get up the court, he's just trying to get past the half court to get in the set, start a fast break, whatever. But the ball was supposed to have been in his hands, and he deferred. And you know, I hate for the LeBron fans, even LeBron used to do that shit too. Defer. How you gonna defer in the closing minutes of the game when you're the best player on the planet? You know, now you still have to have a team. Don't get it twisted. It's a team sport. But at the end of the day, when you got the ball in that 2 minutes, everything should be created off of you. Not deferring unless you have to. He wasn't double. He was nobody even on him.
I'll even give you a few examples. You know, like you just said, and that's a good example that you brought up about LeBron James, because any player who has, you know, the way of scoring a basket, but and then on top of it, you are a superstar, and if it comes down to
the best player on the team,
right?
If it comes down under 2 minutes, everything goes through you,
right? If it comes down to like 2 minutes in, like 2 minutes into the quarter, you are the best player on that team, so you need to execute and make that basket and make it count, because this is a winner go home situation. Yeah. There is no, oh yeah, I'm just play around like we're in the basketball court in the backyard. No. You need to really put your big boy pants on and understand that if you want this ring, you need to do everything you can to get this ring. The Knicks are not playing right now. They're up 2-0. They're not celebrating.
Shout out to the Knicks fans on here. Shout out to the Knicks fans.
Oh yeah,
it's been a long time coming, and they not bullshitting.
They not bullshitting because they taking this shit serious, because they're not celebrating until, remember Kobe said, "Job not done, job ain't finished until it is." Job's not done yet. Okay, until there is a 4-0 lead, or if there is a higher number than the other, then the job is done. Once the Knicks have that trophy above their head,
four games. The game was the 4 games.
Keep going.
Knicks is halfway to the goal. They halfway there.
Right.
But my point was, Aramis, if you go back, and for the fans in the audience, if you go back and look at the play where he made the turnover, there was not one player on him.
No,
under 2 minutes, and you got the ball. What are we doing? But this is where Wemby will get more experience and get stronger mentally, because that's a mental lapse. You understand what I'm saying? Mental. There's nobody on you. You've been bringing the ball up. Under 2 minutes, you want the ball in your hand, because he could have went coast to coast, or he could at least got downhill attacking the basket, and then now you can do what you need to do. Showtime, you can defer, or you can make a basket. But at the end of the day, you know, again, lesson learned for Wemby, you know, hopefully that don't cost it, because right now that hurts you. You know, he hurt himself in a situation where that's where they say experience. You know, you gain experience from putting yourself in situations, and you can't teach that. You know what I mean? You can say that, but until it happens to you and you get it out in here, get that what Kobe used to say, that Mamba attitude. You got to have the Mamba attitude at that minute of the game. You know, it's like, man, it's almost a selfish thing, but it's a good selfish. Like, I want the ball in my hand, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna put everybody in position. Either I'm gonna score it, or y'all be in position. Like you said, the boy was running. What was that, Fox or Castle, whoever? They was running to their spot, because in that situation, everybody needs to be at their spot. Like, I need you to be at your spot where you're gonna have the 100%, you know, the most probability of making your kind of shot. Everybody go get in they set, you know, in their position, and here I come. Spread the floor out. So, you know, it's just gonna be tough. You know, like I have picked San Antonio to win the series in 6. At this point, I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think we're gonna get 4 games straight. Matter of fact, I almost would bet that we're not gonna get 4 games straight. So with that being said, you know, the series ain't over, you know, but San Antonio definitely has to respond, and it's going to be a tough road to respond in New York. That I will tell you. On the road, you know, but at the end of the day, can it be done? Because absolutely, because the Knicks just did it to the Spurs. But now the game is we put back in that position. You feel what I'm saying? We're back in that position now where you were up, you're down 0-2. That doesn't mean it's over, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a tough road to climb. And you're going into New York, one of the most hostile environments in the country.
Yep. My my bad, Joe. My laptop apparently just died on me, but we're gonna use
Uh
my
oh.
phone right now. So yeah,
Come
we
on,
gonna
tech guy. Come on, tech guy.
we gotta use the phone for right now. But good thing my phone is charged. But
Yeah.
we good though. So
So
I
what do you
kind of
think,
miss.
Amos? What do you think is going to be now we move it to New York? The Spurs down 0-2. What do
Mm,
you think has to happen? Because right now the Spurs are with their back against the wall in a bad way.
they're
They can't afford to lose any games at this point. But at the end of the
no.
day, they can't go 0-3. Can't do that. 100%.
Okay,
That makes
so
that makes this game a must-win situation. What do you think is going to be needed for the Spurs to come through tomorrow night?
that's a good question. And I was just talking, and I was just telling my dad this too during over dinner because he asked that same question that you did. Oh, I think it was similar to that question. But I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna tell you what I said last night. That I feel like Wemby needs to, and it's not just Wemby. I feel like the whole team needs to stop. Like when they go on the fast break, they need to stop just forcing the shot. They need to be able to slow the game down a little bit and understand that your guy Wemby, the alien, is your key to victory. So you need to make sure that he has enough room to score that basket. And not only that, you need to start moving Cat and or OG and Obi out the paint so that he can find room enough to score because the only weapon that the Knicks have is from stopping Wemby from scoring that basket is by him trying to drive and there's Cat in there,
Right,
or Josh Hart picking that ball, or OG Nobi, locking him up, make sure he ain't getting no shot opportunities.
right.
So I feel like the Spurs need to work together into giving him an open look. And if they can do that, I promise you, Wemby will be scoring at least 30 in that game and securing the win. But when it comes down to the wire, Victor Wembanyama, you need to lock in and understand that this is your chance. If you fuck this up, you will be a 3-0 lead, and then you will not be having a chance to win. So you need to really make your shots count, defend,
Somebody got to
score.
be. There has to be somebody to step up today. Like we talked about Harper, great rookie.
Great
We
rookie.
need a consistent game from him. If he can give us what he's
Right.
been giving us, but you got to look, he coming off the bench. So
Exactly.
somebody
He's
in
not
on them
even a
starters,
starter.
some of those
He's
three was
behind
a
Darren
Castle, and some of
Fox.
them got to help us out because
Right.
hopefully, if the Knicks get if the Spurs can get a big lead and hold the lead, that's their best chances of winning. The winning would
Right.
be keep the game close and get the ball in Wemby hand with a chance to win the game yet again. And then those are the two best ways that they can win, which is a lot to be said within that. But at the end
Mhm.
of the day, no matter what happens, if they can keep the game close or if they blow it away, great. But if they keep it close again, like game two, you want that same scenario, and it's going to be on Wemby again. And like right now, with the series being 0-2, Wemby basically got to put them on their back.
He has to. He
Has to
has
put
to.
everybody on his back. Not to do when people say, "Hey, he playing selfish ball." I mean, you can't play selfish ball 100% of the time, but at the end of the day, he got to put it on his back. Everything has to go through Wemby, and Wemby has to step up in the moment, especially when you have chance to close the game out. The ball got to be in your hand, win, lose, or draw. And then everything that way you can say, hey, you know what? Great series. We just didn't have enough in the tank. But at least he knowing that everything has to go through him, period.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree with that because if you look at how Jalen Brunson put that team on his back and carried them all the way through the playoff
Yeah,
series, and he brought them boys to the finals. And the fact that they're feeling so relaxed to a point where Jalen Brunson doesn't have, I mean, Jalen Brunson is still, dropping 30, 20 points
yeah.
a
Jalen
game.
Brunson saying everything that the Knicks got to do coming through me, and Wemby got to do the same
Exactly.
thing. Period.
Because when you look the way
This
how
this
Jalen
series is not
Brunson,
Wemby versus Cat. It's Wemby
no,
matched up against Cat, but basically the series is really Wemby versus Brunson because those are the two faces of both teams.
right,
Best player, best player. Period.
right, yep, yep, yeah. I agree with you on that matter because if if Wemby is going to win game three, everything has to go through him because and the team has to know that. And on top of that, Castle needs to start, playing better defense against Jalen
Man,
Brunson.
all of them dogs, dude. Castle,
Castle needs to play
everybody,
good
bro. It's
defense
all
against.
hands at this point.
Listen,
You can't
Fox,
and listen, they
Castle,
can't go
Vassell, they
down.
all need to stop Jalen
Aramis, they
Brunson.
can't go down 3-0. You
No,
can't do that.
they can't because if they do, then it's a higher percentage even more. That means that the Knicks
Right.
have 100% chance of winning, and everybody, I'm leaving us right now because I told my dad this yesterday. I said, listen, if the Knicks win this
So your
series,
dad talking shit.
yeah, because I told myself, I said, look, if the Knicks win this series, everybody stay in their homes. Whoever's in New York, stay in your homes because the New York City is going to be on lockdown. It's going to be a whole bunch of chaotic
Bro,
bulls.
listen, that whole
Okay,
Madison Square Garden gonna be off the chain.
that's
Remember
what
we were
I'm
talking about
saying.
earlier. That's the most right now. That ticket is the highest sought ticket in the whole state. And matter of fact, might be in the whole country. They said ticket sales right now for Madison Square Garden, the famous MGM. I mean not MGM, MSG, Madison Square Garden.
Mm,
The most the ticket sales right now. They said to get in the just to get in the building at the worst seat available is $3,500 just to get in the building.
you got to have bank for that shit, man.
Courtside is probably 100,000.
God damn, you got to have money for that
Hundred
shit.
thousand, bro. Spike Lee on the court side, but he been a pillar to the Knicks for years. So hats off to Spike, through all the bad seasons. So if nothing else, Spike deserved to see the Knicks win because he been a passionate fan and he's been the number one Knicks fan for years. Nobody can touch
Every
Spike
time
Lee.
I
So
see
shout out to
him,
Spike Lee every
yeah.
season, win, lose, or
Spike
draw.
Lee, my hats off to you, brother, because you've been at every
Yeah,
single Knicks
hats
game
off to
your
Spike
whole
Lee. If
life.
Spike Lee on here, bro, come on, jump in the podcast. We need you to come on live and stuff up in here. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm talking about.
Yep.
Let's go,
I'll
Spike
tag him
Lee.
on
Let's go.
Instagram. I'll be like, bro, we need you in this joint, man. Give your input on your boys the Knicks, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's really been, and I'll say this: I really enjoy watching the Knicks. I've watched them a few times during the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing them fall short last year's run, that just shows that they're going to be hungry this year. And the fact that see how much of determination that this team has, and the fact that I see Cat, showing up throughout the whole series. And Josh Hart has had his moments where he'll show up sometimes, and he might mess up different times and not show up. But
Yeah.
at the same
Man,
time,
Spike, listen, Spike been in the game. Hey, listen, Aramis, this might be before you. This is some knowledge right here. Spike Lee has been involved in the Knicks his whole lifetime. He goes back to being an advocate Knicks fan when
does
he was in commercials with Jordan as Myers Black. Now, do you remember them commercials back in the day with Jordan commercial? When Jordan first came out, Myers Black was Spike. That was Spike Lee playing Myers Black, and he been a fan in the game way back then to this day. And for our fans who don't know, go look up Michael Jordan's commercials where they had Myers Black. When they're playing that's when the Jordans first took off, and
mm,
Jordan doing dunks and stuff. But that Myers Black was Spike Lee, still being involved in the history of the game. But a true advocate. He was a big Jordan fan, but his team was the Knicks, and he's still in the business to this day, 30 years later.
Right.
I think those was the Jordan twos when he did that commercial. They wasn't
Okay.
the ones. I think it was the twos. If anybody in the chat, fact check that for me. But I remember when Mars Blackman came out with the Jordan commercial. I think that was the MJ twos. It came. It was the twos or the threes. It might have been the two. I believe it was the twos. If you haven't seen that commercial, Amos, you got to look it up. Mars Black. You seen that commercial?
No, 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 no. I don't think
Yeah,
I ever.
man, listen,
Send me a link
that's
to
why
it,
we are
man.
basketball truth and knowledge. Go look it up. Jordan, MJ, Michael Jordan commercial when Air Jordans first came out. It's either I think it was the twos. You can look it up and Google Mars Blackman Michael Jordan commercial, and it was a black and white commercial. The whole commercial was in black and white.
Jeez. Leonard
Definitely
Miller
Spike Lee
said
though.
this.
Spike Lee, listen, man, that's my guy. I fucks with Spike Lee hard, so I know he gonna be going crazy in the mass. Hey, listen, it's gonna be amongst the stars who come out tomorrow night. You watch it. It's gonna be a building full of stars. Everybody. It's gonna be like LA. You know how when the Lakers play in LA, this gonna be New York time. They're gonna have everybody you can think of, and a Jay-Z. Everybody gonna be there tonight. I mean tomorrow
Oh
night.
yeah. Everyone
Gonna be
moving
listen.
in, you know.
Security gonna be at the utmost highest because it's gonna be money.
It's gonna be packed.
Money in the building. A couple
Money,
trillion
money,
gonna be up in
money.
the billion that day.
Yep, green dollar.
For real.
Leonard Miller said, "Dial out to Spike Lee." Yes, I will reach out to Spike Lee to see if we can get him in here. I'll see if I can
Yeah.
get Spike Lee in here.
So what you got,
Uh,
Amos? What's your predictions for the rest of the series? What you thinking at this point? Down 0-2, Spurs on the road going to hostile Madison Square Garden. What you feel the series going to pan out at this point? What's your thoughts?
hmm. 2 games are in Madison Square Garden, so San Antonio had their chance to shine in their home court, but they failed. And they're going to be in Madison Square Garden 2 times in a row. Facing the Knicks in that big of a crowd,
Packed arena. It's going to be
packed
standing
arena.
room only in that joint.
Yeah, I feel like the Spurs are going to get overwhelmed by the crowd and the way how the Knicks progress themselves like they've been doing for the 2 past games. I feel like the Knicks will win a 4-1 series. I believe.
Wow.
I'm
So
gonna
so
say
wait,
that.
wait, hold on, Amos. Let me say this. We going on record that the Spurs gonna go down 0-3.
I would
Knicks
say
gonna go up 3-0. You got Spurs losing
I
game three.
I say they go up 3-0. The Spurs will win the fourth game, and then I'm gonna say game 5. I'm gonna say game 5 is when the Knicks win that one. Game 5, they win that series.
You
That's
think Spurs gonna lose in 5?
I that's but I'm gonna say that for me. That's that. This is my predicament. That I feel like the Knicks are gonna win the series.
Okay.
That and the only reason why I know that is because if if Wendy can't find a way to score that basket and actually
Yeah,
defend
yeah. If Wemby makes that shot in game 2 to close the game and we have a 1-1 series,
then it'd be
different
different. Then it'd be
conversation.
different conversation.
That's a different conversation
Yeah.
because at that point, you still, you tie, and you go to New York and you try to get a split. You have to try to
Right.
defend the home court, but right now, it's favored to the Knicks because the Spurs is down 0-2 at home. And it's going to be hard to lose on the road. The Knicks haven't lost a game on the road. I don't even know the stats, but they've been on a 12-0 run. But at the end of the day, I don't even know if they lost a game at home at all this whole playoff season.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't lost at home, I don't believe. I might be wrong, but if they did, they ain't lose but one all season. I mean, all playoff season. Oh, it's going to be interesting.
Interesting.
I feel like that, the Spurs have to get out to a big first start of the game, which they always do. Typically, the Spurs always start out fast and get a lead in the first quarter. So now I think that that's going to be important for the Spurs to win. In my opinion, they're going to have to get out early, take the crowd out the game, and it'd be a blowout game. So I predict is Spurs win and they're gonna blow them out, only because they're gonna shut them down, and take the big lead, and that's not allow the lead to slip away. So I predict it's gonna be 2-1. Spurs win by about 10 or more tonight.
Okay.
That's my prediction. And obviously if they lose game 3, series is over.
Okay.
Bottom
Okay.
line, series over. Like you can't come back from 0-3.
No. Okay.
And you don't want to flirt with, we won by a bucket. It might have to come down to that. And then if it comes down, that still comes back on Wemby. Ball got to be back in your hand.
Right.
Tough. It's gonna be interesting. I wonder, what they feel like. Really what people feel. You know, uh, I pose the question to the fans. What y'all think? What you think? You think that Spurs? We all know Spurs is in a must-win situation. But do we think that Wemby can step up to the plate? Because basically, right now, he just has to take over. Wemby might need to score 50 points tonight just to win. Like this is what it is. Can't have and he gonna need to see. He gonna need help. It's not like he can win the game by himself, but at the end of the day, he got to carry the load straight up, or this is just gonna get out of reach for him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think, but I'm gonna just say this. And I was just talking to my girlfriend's dad at work that it really doesn't matter who wins this series. I'm just so thankful that OKC is not in here.
Hey, listen, Wemby took care of that.
Yeah, okay. Look. I know I gave my prediction, and I know you did, but I'm gonna say this on air too. So I want everybody to know that I don't favoritism the Spurs or the Knicks, but since I gave my prediction, I'm gonna say this too, that I don't care who wins. At the end of the day, since if the Spurs win and he takes that title to San Antonio, that's fine. But if the Knicks win and they bring that title home to New York City, you guys better stay at home and just kind of just wait till it die down a little bit. But at the same time, it doesn't matter who wins because it's either Knicks or the Spurs.
Right, you just didn't want OKC to win.
Yeah, I just don't want OKC to win that shit because he's not an MVP. If you think about it, he's not. Cool. Because the way that series was with him with the Spurs and OKC, it was too many foul calls. And in the one game where there was no foul call, Shea only dropped 15 points. So he needs fouls to average 30 plus points. And in the regular season, he had one game with the LA Lakers, shot 20 free throws.
Mm-hmm.
Not MVP level. But when you see Wemby battling through that, he showed MVP level in that series.
Mm-hmm.
You need to show that same. You need to show that same commitment with the Knicks. The same way you destroyed OKC in the Game 7 series.
Right.
You need to do the same thing with the Knicks. If you want to win this game, the same way you beat them boys, it's the same way you need to beat the Knicks.
Right. He's gonna need some help. They're gonna need some help, Aramis, from the refs. Like the refs need to just put the whistles in their pocket. Like let the boys play.
They can't just be calling.
Yeah, put the shit in your pocket. They did that shit in OKC, and they got through. Today, some of them calls they had last game was real. Come on, bro.
Yep. Exactly.
And I don't want to be, me, I'm always on my conspiracy shit. I don't want to say it's a conspiracy to get New York the title because at the end of the day, the Spurs, the players still have to determine it, but I definitely hope that the refs let them play a little bit and we go from there. I'm from New York, so, of course, would love to see the Knicks get a title. It's been years coming. You know what I mean? It's been a minute since the Knicks won. My goodness.
Yeah.
Just to have that alone, I root for that. But, as you know, Aaron, since we've been on this podcast now, for some time, You know, I've been a Wemby fan from the beginning. You know, when I
Oh,
first seen that kid, I was like, "Oh my God, who is this kid?" You know, I haven't seen a
amazing
kid like
kid.
him since like Yao Ming. You know, when Yao came, remember? I don't know if you remember Yao Ming that came in for the Houston. You know, he was the
I've seen
phenomenal
highlights
7-foot guy.
of Yao Ming. Seeing how
Yeah,
tall he is, God.
yeah. Yao Ming was the man. Listen, what Wemby doing now was Yao Ming back in the day, and the only thing that stopped Yao Ming was he got a foot injury.
Oh,
Because other than
okay.
that, he could shoot the midi. He was battling with Shaq. You know, him and Shaq was going at it. Like, you know, Shaq a big dude. You know, we know who Shaq Diesel is.
Yeah,
And, you know,
yeah.
he
Shaq
had
was
some epic
more
battles
focused,
with Yao. You know what I mean? And then even Shaq, you know, the big Diesel said that probably one of the best big men ever out. And that's saying a lot from a dude who's top five. Shaq top five, period, in centers. I don't give a fuck what you talk about. You know, he top five. You know, so, you know, but just like Magic Johnson said, you know, superstars are born, and Wemby is a star, but can you put that stamp on it to say you're a superstar? So, you know, I'm a big fan of Wemby, and I'm gonna say this, you know, if he wants to be superstar status, this is what it is. And then, you know, I tell people don't panic, you know, but at the end of the day, Jordan, when he first came in the league, Jordan ain't win for about 5, 6 years. You know, it took him about 5, 6 years to get it together. Then he was unstoppable, and then he became the not the face, but he became Mr. Everything. You know, a iconic person in the industry. You know, in the business. And then you look at LeBron. Look at LeBron. LeBron came in and you know got to the pillar and had some tough
yeah.
series. You know,
Tough opponents like
he had
Kevin
some tough series.
Garnett,
So, you know, here we are with Wemby.
Paul
This is Wemby's
Pierce.
first finals. And your first finals, you're down 0-2. First finals. So now we're going to really see what the fuck is about to happen. Because right now, you either going to be Jordan this or you're going to be LeBronist. Because he's going to be an iconic figure. This ain't going to be his last finals, you know, unless he
No,
get an injury or something. He don't
ain't
make it
be
back
fast
again.
one either because
You know
I
what I mean? I
guarantee
definitely would say, and for his career, barring no injuries, remember, injuries is important.
Andrews
He's
are
going to get a
important.
chance to
Don't let
get
me
back.
find out.
LeBronis or Jordanis
He needs to show effort.
or Kobe-ish, you know, because at the end of the
Kobe
day,
is
even Kobe went a
yeah.
couple times and didn't win every time.
Have to have that Mamba mentality. It's called Mamba mentality for a reason.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why.
Jordan went 6 times and won 6 times. Wemby went one time and you down 0-2. What we talking about now?
You got
Because at
got
the
to
end of
show
the
us you
day,
want it. You
everything,
got you
the
want it.
league is measured by rings, period.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And all you LeBron fans, I hate to keep jumping on LeBron, but LeBron has probably the best player physically that's ever played the game. Longevity, 20 years in the league, you know, never had a fall off. That nigga 40 something is still dominating the game stat wise. You know what I mean? And he's expected to get to the finals. And if he doesn't get to the finals, it's looked like a bad stain on his career because he's been there so many times. But
Yeah.
like you said, once you get there, what you gonna do?
You got it.
You know what I mean? And it's a numbers thing. LeBron been there. What? How many times LeBron been in the finals? 10 times?
I'll say 10 times. He's won
10, 11 times. And he probably won what? A third of them? 3, 4. How many rings he got? 4? You should know you're a LeBron guy. What, he got 4 rings?
He got like 5 right now.
5 rings? Okay. 5 out of what? 12, 10? That's good. 50%. So 50% pretty much, you know, getting there. And here we are. Jordan, we know, is 100%. He ain't lost ever. You know what I mean? Kobe, what? Might have lost, what, once or twice? You know, Kobe probably got, what? Kobe got 5 rings too, right? 4 rings?
Yep. Oh, I'm actually so he has 4 and LeBron has 4 because he won with Miami.
LeBron got 4 rings and he been there 12 times, 11, 12 times.
Yep, because he's won 2 with Miami, 2012, 2013, 16 with the Cavs, and then 2020 was the Lakers, and that was in the bubble.
Right. And then how many teams he been there? 10 times?
Yeah, I was. Hold on, let me fact check the how many times.
He had to be at least 10, 11 that I can think of.
Okay, so LeBron has been to the finals 10 times in his career. Throughout his 10 championship appearances, he has achieved 4-6 record and won 4 NBA championships. In
Yeah,
2007, lost to the San Antonio Spurs. 2011, Miami Heat lost to the Dallas Mavericks.
yeah.
2012, Miami Heat once against OKC. 2013, won against San Antonio Spurs. 14, lost to San Antonio Spurs. 15, lost against Golden State Warriors twice.
Mhm.
And then
He lost with the Lakers. Well, no, I think he won with the Lakers. That's the last
he
one he
won
had.
he won against Miami Heat and with the Lakers. 18, lost against the Warriors. 17, lost against the Warriors. 16, won against the Warriors. So yeah,
Hmm.
he has 10 years experience.
Yeah, I mean, so the whole point is that the young fella Wemby is entering into superstar conversation. You can't have superstar. I mean, you have a star because a star based off of your career. But superstar status is when, in my opinion, when it comes down, we talk about these rings. And he's entering the conversation now because you can't have a conversation about winning a title if you haven't even played for one. You
Mm-hmm.
feel what I'm saying? So some of these players who we talk about, like Charles Barkley, Charles Barkley is in superstar status just because even he went to a finals. He hadn't won one, I mean, but at least he's went to the finals. He just ain't wasn't able to pull it off. Allen Iverson, he went to the finals. So some of these players who are great stars, and at least to even get them halfway in the conversation of a superstar, you have at least have to made it to the finals. So Wemby's made it to the finals. So now are you going to set your, superstardom in line based on championship rings? You feel what I'm saying? We already know the great Bill Russell, he has the most rings. So we ain't gonna, we throw in the knowledge part of it. This the part of the program we get on the knowledge. We know Bill Russell has the most rings, you know what I mean? And then you
Yeah.
can go from there. It's a lot of players who got lots of rings. Even Robert Ory, Robert Ory got 7 rings. Big shot Rob, you know what I mean? But here we are, so Wemby has to really understand where it's at. And he's only 22, you know what I mean? So very, very little experience on this stage. And this is where you have to, at the end of the day, be selfish at some points of the game just because you taking the team on your back. Kobe went in and put in 89 points on a playoff game. So sometimes it is what it is. You got to do what the fuck you got to do to get the W. And at the end of the day, it's a team sport, but sometimes you need the eye and the individual star to either tread the water or pave the way.
Right.
And you know what I mean? And so, it's going to be very interesting for the big fella because, at the end of the day, he remind me of a young Giannis. Remember when Giannis came in the league,
Oh,
skinny,
yeah, he was
tall?
skinny.
They
Yeah.
got that nigga in the weight room, and he turned into
A Greek
a
freak.
beast.
Yep, Greek
Yeah,
freak.
so I couldn't imagine Wemby with 20 pounds of muscle on him. Wow,
Oh
that's
my gosh,
dangerous.
you'll be unstoppable.
20 pounds.
We ain't gonna get too much of that, man. He gonna be much. He gonna be the next Greek freak, but
Nigga, if he get 20
alien.
pounds of pure muscle, oh, that's a problem.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and on top of that, he already got trained from all the other Hall of Fame, like Akeem Olajuwon. He practiced with him.
Yeah,
Jamal Crawford, he practiced the crossover. He already working with the legends. He already working with the best of
yeah.
the best.
And
But
he
he
definitely
needs to put
putting in
that
the
weight
work.
on. He'll be all
He
right.
putting in the work, but right now, his career is being, this is where you put the stamp on the beginning of his career, beginning of his career, or do you end up just fizzling out as being a good big man? Because he's gonna be in the league, as long as he don't get hurt, he's solid. He gonna give you these opportunities, but can you seize the moment? Are you big enough in the moment where the stars is aligned and the lights is on and you got every fan in the world yelling at you? Can you close the deal, or do you turn the ball over like you did the first time? Do you miss the shot? that has silenced the world. Like, what are you going to do now? You missed a shot. You had a turnover. You fucked the game up in the closeout minutes. And now here we are. What you going to do, Wemby? We love you. What you going to do, though? Because if not, I promise you the Knicks is ready to steal. Knicks going to take this thing home. And then if Knicks take it home, who you think the MVP of the thing is? Got to be Brunson. If Knicks win the series, Brunson got to be MVP of the finals. So we'll see. You good? You in there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, you switching in and out of cameras, but I think we're gonna have a lot to talk about next weekend. The series could be over next weekend.
What's going on?
Waiting on my man and my co-host to get back in, give us a few minutes. Apologize for technical difficulties. But if I had some music, I'd play something for y'all. But yeah, we talking about Wemby and the Knicks. Like I said, Knicks is up 2-0, making a fantastic run. Historic. I think they won 12 straight, 13 straight now. Historical run. So shout out to them, Cat, Jalen. Them boys doing their thing. Villanova. I think that's a Villanova cast. Those big three from Villanova still playing together. So that just tells you volumes about when you're playing this game of basketball. Yes, you got to have big skill level, but a lot of time too, chemistry is super important. So the Knicks probably have by far strongest chemistry between the two teams. As far as team players together. So it shows in this run that the Knicks been running that they have a lot of chemistry amongst each other, the players, and trust. Where this young Spurs team, they got the best player and one of the top players on the planet, if not the best player on the planet, but they don't have the chemistry that the Knicks have. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can overcome the Knicks with a 2-0 lead and the chemistry they possess as far as team ball and things of that nature. We're really going to see if the Spurs can put something together to overcome that. Because right now they have a big task ahead of it, man. The numbers ain't with them. I'm sure Vegas got the numbers heavily favored for Knicks to win, But, again, that's why we play the game. We're going to see. And stars is born, we're going to definitely see what Wemby got, because if Wemby can put this drive together and overcome the Knicks at this point, and the Knicks got, like I said, the far best experience, team and players. So they got a lot going on that's helping them as far as when you're in tough battles, been in the trenches before and trust, when you have team chemistry and history and confidence, when you play together for a long time, you trust the person, you trust what it is, and you can naturally go through your progressions and know a person going to do this and know where he going to be. Whereas when you have a young team and you developing that chemistry, the trust sometimes ain't there. And Wemby and them don't have the trust yet like Knicks have. So that's another strike against the Spurs. But at the end of the day, it's all on Wemby. Wemby either gonna make it or break it. I don't care about experience or not, because at the end of the day, if he put the team on his back, which he need to do, we gonna have another story. But until then, Knicks is in the driver's seat. Spike Lee ready to pop the champagne.
Yeah.
I'm saying they ready to party in New York City. I promise you.
Exactly. Sorry if I got to shot you. Back page your marriage confession. Welcome to the live stream for the Basketball Trip Finales. Make
Welcome,
sure you
welcome.
subscribe and make sure you like. You are part
Ask
of
what
the
question. Tell them, put a question in the comment. What they got a question for? Tell them, shoot us a question. What they want to know. What question they got for it? We answering questions right now. Open up to the audience. Let's get it.
Yes. Any questions you guys have, put in the comments because right now we will answer any questions you guys have.
Ask her who she got for the series. Who she got?
Oh yeah. So
who they got?
We want to know what your predictions for the 2-0 lead right now for the Knicks. Who do you guys rooting for this series? Because we would love to know from the fans. I know we given our aspect on how we feel about the series. We
Yeah, let me know what they
think.
What they talking about, Aramis? Talk to them, Aramis. Tell them what they got. What they got for us.
Well, I'm trying to see, man. They need to say something, man. Back past your marriage of confessions. What's your impact on the finals right now? Lenora Miller, what's your impact on the finals? We would love to know your input.
What they talking about, Aramis? What they say they got? What we doing? What they talking about?
They ain't saying nothing right now. Hold on.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting, Aramis. If you a betting man today, who you betting on? Who you got for game 3? You said you going with Knicks, right?
I will give it to the Knicks for this one.
I'm taking Spurs. I'm taking Spurs to.
That's fine with it. Yep. I'm
gonna take the Spurs, man. I mean, you can't. If they lose 3-0, bro, it's over. So
I would much rather have you take this one.
Make it a series.
I would rather say Spurs, but I'm gonna go with the Knicks for me. But I will want you to be right with this one because I want the Spurs to have a solid chance to keep.
Yeah, nobody want no sweep. I mean,
nobody wants with the Knicks,
but nobody want to sweep.
Okay, I'm gonna say this on air right now. I want everybody to know this. If this turns out to be a 4-0 series in the finals, I would get so pissed off at the Spurs and the way they presented themselves in the finals. You had all the chance, and don't get me wrong, you are a young team. You are, and you progressed yourself far enough. But the fact that you didn't progress yourself even more and have that moment mentality or just any kind of way, and women, you are the star player in that team. So if you don't progress yourself to be great and show that like you did against OKC and show it against the Knicks, then you got a long way to go.
You know what, Aramis, you know what had to happen? And I hate to say this, but the Spurs have one of the greatest coaches to ever coach the game in the GM spot. He gave up the spot to go be the GM. So in this case, Popovich got to come down, bro. You got to get Popovich. You got to call all the organization.
I promise you, if he came down,
he got to come down right now.
He needs to. They need
Popovich. Get Popovich back in there. Come on, bro.
You know what? You know what he needs to do? He needs to go into that locker room, talk some sense into that Spurs team. He needs to let them know right now that if they need this or if they want it, they have to go and get it. They can't just play around and act like they in the backyard playing basketball outside the house. No.
No, listen, Aramis. Fuck talking in the fuck coming to halftime. He need to go sit on the bench the whole game, and let's talk about every play. It's that serious right now. You're down 0-2.
That serious because you're down 0-2, and you need to make it.
And you're going to New York, bro. Like you're going on the road next 2 games. The series could end in New York in 2 more games.
Oh yeah, if they win 4 games and it's in New York City, it's over.
Yeah. It's over. If they win the next 2, it's over. Like you have to get over. This is the best one to win. Because you still to be down, but you got an opportunity. If you down 3-0, it's a wrap, bro. Every game is like you're gonna lose one of those.
Yep.
Nobody is. I don't think you can look it up. I don't think no team has ever came back from 03 in the finals. Google it real quick. I don't think any team has ever came back to win the NBA finals down 3-0. No team that I can remember.
No team has ever really had a chance to even come back. They have come close to coming back, but still.
No, I don't say close. Has any team ever came back from 3-0? Yeah, we had some teams get to a game 7.
Anybody in the comments can try their best to say something and say a team, but have they really secured the deal and came back? No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
There's not been that one team that's able to do that.
Yeah, I don't think so. That's why you said you would rather the narrative be played that the Spurs win, even though you think the Knicks don't win.
Spurs win this because I want it to be a good match. I want it to be a good finals so that we can go back and say, oh, what was the best finals? Oh, yeah, that Knicks and Spurs.
Yeah. And we going to be watching baseball. You know what I'm saying? This is it. You know what I'm saying? This is it. So, but you know what? We're still going to have basketball. So, not to switch gears, but WNBA just started off. You know, my fucks with my girl, Angel Reese. She done switched to the Dream. She over there. Yeah. Hey, listen, when she switched, people talked all that bullshit. Oh, they just caking up her stats and she just shooting the miss so she can pad her stats. Motherfucker, she doing the same shit in Atlanta that she been doing all her career. Stop the bullshit. Yeah. And she fuck around got some help now. So Atlanta could be in a position to make a run at Vegas because, you know, the best team in the NBA is Vegas.
Yeah. Actually,
but we think Angel Reese, but we definitely gonna come back and circle with Angel Reese when we touch on the WNBA because she is the hey, listen, they calling her, you know, they was calling her Chi-Town Barbie. Now she ATL Barbie.
ATL Barbie.
ATL Barbie. They ain't talking about.
Oh my god.
I'm definitely going to get some tickets off because, you know, I'm right here in South Carolina. So I'm gonna actually see if I can get some tickets to go see Angel Reese. I'm gonna see if I can pull some strings and get backstage. You know what I'm saying? That interview up there. You know what I'm talking about? You're like, Erebus, I got her on. We gotta go live real quick.
Come on, man. You already know what it is.
Nah, you know what I mean? We get Angel. Listen, I get interview Angel Reese to be on the podcast for 2 minutes. So even a shouting out the podcast, bro. That's viral right there.
Angel Reese, man. Hope we can get her in there.
Yeah, we get her.
You know what? Speaking of WNBA, I actually know an old friend of mine who watches the WNBA, and I want to bring her on the show if I can whenever she's free.
Yeah, man. Listen, WNBA. Listen, they just got that big contract too. You know, where they went to collective bargaining so that the girls can get actually paid now. They got, you know, girls can sign $1 million contracts now instead of that league minimum.
Nice. I love that. They
so shout out. You know,
they deserve that.
Girls basketball is turning the corner right now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they look good. We're talking about. Talking about Angel Reese going out that joint ain't playing. She ain't wearing no sweats out to the joint. She getting dressed.
Oh my god.
You know what I'm talking about? Shit. She like, let's get it. We in our feminine energy out here, even though we hoopers.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Well, man, listen. Great podcast.
Great podcast.
You know what I mean? We'll pick it back up. But hey, thank you for the viewers for a few that popped in. You know what I mean? We can build on that.
Yes, love to see it.
Tell them next time to come on in next show. Next week we'll be here Saturday. You know, tell them next time, Erebus, pose a question to them.
Yes, man.
We get some interaction from the fans.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the live stream of Basketball Truth and Knowledge. I appreciate you guys for making it through the live. Sorry, there's been some major difficulties with my laptop, dying. Next show we're gonna get CP on here. We're gonna get CP on here. Get some people on here next time. Everything, so all three of us, and I promise you, everything will work out perfectly fine. I have my laptop charged all the way. Everything will be really set in tone. But if you have enjoyed this so far, if you have any questions that you thought that you were gonna add and you forgot it, that's perfectly fine. Just put in the comments, and then I will read them, and then I will bring that into the next show, and I will answer your questions. Just make sure that you like, subscribe, put on post notifications so when we see us go live or I post that video, go check it out. Feel free to show it to all your friends, co-workers, family members, anybody who watches basketball or who wants to get to know basketball. Feel free to have them join the family, and then we'll get you, we'll get you going with basketball. Okay. A few shout outs. My dad, he does the Postmortem podcast, the football podcast, directly about the Bills. He's been going through the roof with his podcast. Check him out. He goes Monday and Fridays. The new Madden is coming out, so he does make Madden content for the podcast itself. So check him out right there. I do have.
Send me an invite, Amos. Tell him to send me an invite.
Yep, I will. Also, I do have a gaming industry. I'm on Twitch, Dayface_Assassin21. That's where I stream all my games and everything. I just started. I've been doing it for about 2 years now. Same thing for YouTube. It is Babyface_Assassin4. New games are coming out, so there's gonna be more content to come with that. So if you want to check me out there, you can. Just make sure you subscribe and like it on notifications, so when you see me go live, just come in and have some fun. And then with that being said, this has been a Bastard for Knowledge. I am your co-host, Aramis.
Ray Daniels.
And we out. I appreciate you guys. Have a blissful Sunday, and we will see you next Saturday.
Yeah, next Saturday. Yeah, we'll do it early. I'll be in Atlanta next Saturday because my granddaughter's birthday, but I'll do the podcast from Atlanta. I told you I'm trying to go get Angel Reese for us, bro. Let's go.
All right,
showing up. Look at. Hey, listen. If y'all see the ATL Barbie, let her know I need a shout out for Basketball Truth and Knowledge. We can just get her on the joint.
All right, man. I love you guys. Like I said, have a blissful Sunday. I hope you enjoyed your time at church, all that, and then I will see you guys next Saturday.
We get on next Saturday though, not Sunday. We're gonna get on next Saturday.
Yep. 12 p.m. Eastern time.
Hopefully we won't be talking about that they got fucking swept. Let's hope. The series is still going on.
Enjoy your game Monday, tomorrow, and then we'll catch you on Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. With
Aramis, if not, we're gonna get the clip that Charles Barkley do when the kids go fishing. We're gonna have that clip on here if they get swept with Wemby's big ass going fishing.
I got you. I'll make that for you.
Charles them on TNT, they put them going fishing. We don't want Wemby to go fishing yet. So, hey, and make sure y'all look up, if the fans in here, make sure you look up the Michael Jordan and Spike Lee Mars Black commercial that was done to show you, respect to Spike Lee, that he's been in the game a long time, film director, and NBA Knicks fan. So if you haven't seen that commercial, Aramis, make sure you go watch it too. It's the Michael Jordan, Mars Blackman commercial.
I got you.
Yeah, that's a homework for the knowledge for our fans and the knowledge. Go look up that commercial. We can talk about it next week.
Exactly. All right, y'all. Love y'all. I will see y'all next week, Saturday. Stay tuned. All right.